Iceberg lettuce has gotten a bad rap in recent years because of its lack of nutrients and flavor. But for what it lacks in flavor, it makes up for in its durability and its crunchiness. I'm Shannon Smith, and I'm going to show you how to make this into a great, tasty wedge salad. The first thing I want to do is make some bacon. So I've got some chopped bacon that I'm going to put into a skillet over about a medium-high heat. And this is a smoked bacon that I'm going to get nice and spread out. And I'm going to render that until it's nice and crispy to go on the salad. Meanwhile, I'm going to start the dressing. I've got a bowl and a whisk. And the base of the dressing is going to be a mayonnaise and some sour cream. And I always use whole fat mayonnaise and sour cream. I don't like the low fat stuff because it's not nearly as rich. This is some chopped garlic. I'm going to put a little bit of dry mustard. And the dry mustard is a little bit spicy and just adds some flavor to the dressing. This is some Worcestershire sauce and some white wine vinegar. A little salt and some fresh ground pepper. And use a whisk to get all this combined. Now to this I'm going to add some blue cheese. And there are many different types of blue cheese. There's really, really mild, and then there's really strong. And everyone has their preference for that. If you don't like blue cheese, you can go with the really mild. And if you don't like it at all, of course you could leave it out. So this is a crumbled blue cheese that I'll put inside the dressing. And then you can put this in the refrigerator and let it chill to go on the salad later. So while the bacon is cooking, I'm going to make some candied pecans. And the way to do that is to get a skillet and turn it on. It has to be a non-stick skillet. And get it pretty hot to about medium-high temperature. I'm going to take some white sugar and spread it on the bottom. It's about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to watch this really carefully. This is not the time to go answer the phone or run an errand or something. This is a really time-sensitive project because we want the sugar to melt, and as soon as it starts melting, we're going to add some pecans. Okay, so it's starting to melt some around the edges, and this is when you want to put in your pecans. And get them all in there in one layer so they're all touching the bottom of the pan and in contact with the sugar. And this is where you want to leave it just for a few seconds and then start stirring it really gently, because that sugar is dissolving and it's going to coat my pecans. Once you can see that most of the sugar is dissolved and that all the pecans are coated, you don't want to leave it in the pan. If you do that, they're going to start burning. So you're going to take them and just slide them onto a plate and let them cool completely. Right now they're a little hot and sticky, so you want to put this aside and let them cool, and then you'll break them up to be put on the salad. Our bacon is nice and crisp, so I'm going to put it onto a plate that's lined with a paper towel so we can get a lot of that grease off and also get it cooled down. We want all of our ingredients that go on the salad to be cooled. If it's hot, it's going to do a little bit of wilting, which isn't what we want for this particular salad. So I'll set that aside. And now it's time for my favorite part of making this salad, which is to remove the core of the iceberg lettuce. So it has this big heavy core that is not edible, and you want to remove it. And the best way to do that is to pound it on the countertop. And this way the core comes out and you have this nice head of lettuce that's still pretty much intact. So I'll take a knife, and this is what I'm going to cut into the wedges. I like to cut it in fourths, which will give you 4 different salads, but you could cut it in 5th or 6th to make smaller salads if you want. So now I have these beautiful wedges that I'll put on a platter and set each one of them with the cut side up. Now this is an important step. You need to take some salt and just not too much, but put a little bit so that it falls into all those layers. Because remember, iceberg lettuce doesn't have a lot of flavor, but by adding salt, you've now added some flavor to it. I'm gonna finish assembling the salads. So I've got this chilled blue cheese dressing, and I'm just gonna dollop this on top. To be honest, this is the only salad that I like where the dressing is not tossed into the lettuce. So each wedge gets the blue cheese dressing, and then if you want, you can even add more blue cheese to it. Just crumble that on top, and it will kind of fall into those layers, and if some gets on the side, that's okay too. And I've got the bacon, sprinkle that on top. And these are little cherry tomatoes that I halved, and those can go in there. It adds a little bit of sweetness, and of course the color looks really nice. Oops, one jumped. We got two jumpers there. And if you want, you can add some red onion. Again, we're adding some color and a little spice. If you don't like onion, you can leave that off, but I love red onions. And lastly are the sugared pecans. These are nice and cool, and they're crispy, and sprinkle these on top. If you want, you can put some freshly ground pepper. Whoop. This salad makes a great weeknight dinner salad. It's also beautiful on a buffet table. See you next time.